Hi guys, welcome back to SwitchUp. My name's Mark Walker, and just a big thanks to all of you who have helped us reach 212,000 subscribers. That's crazy. Today, October the 31st, is the last day of our 5% discount on Eshop cards if you're in the EU through our website switchup.gg using the code SwitchUp5. American regions, we have not forsaken you, and I promise you that is on its way. We've always tried to maintain the same feel that we started with, which is that of an old school indie magazine, if you remember the old gaming mags you used to buy, and we try and give away as much as we can as well. And this week we obviously are going to give away our copy of Crisis 2 and 3, and that goes to Connor Sweezy. Firstly, you have an awesome name, and secondly, I like your comment. It said, I started following the channel as a way of saving a few extra dollars when buying Switch games, and I'm so glad it's made me spend much more than I originally intended. And it seems that that sentiment carries off across quite a few of you. Do leave your comments down below as well. Let us know what games you've purchased because of this channel that you liked, and make sure you like a couple of people's comments, and we'll give away another few games next week. What's on sale? Let's find out. Kicking off the week this week then, we've got Monster Harvest, which we reviewed when it first came out, and it comes from Merge Games, and unfortunately, let's be honest, it was a bit of a state at launch. It had numerous bugs, ones that cost you your entire save progress, and it was such a shame because the core gameplay looked amazing. Depending on the season, the slime, or the crop that you mutate, you were able to create up to 72 different mutations, and these planimals are the result of that. Rob Nor the Viking reviewed this for us, and I remember getting a text saying, I absolutely love this game, but it's totally broken. Now, it's received 2 patches since then. He's been back a couple of times. I don't think his original save works, but if you start a new game, there seems to be no issues anymore. There are still a few tweaks needed before it's up to its tip-top condition, but certainly they've been releasing patches as quickly as Nintendo can process them. I think the next one is a huge content addition, so I'd say picking it up on sale right now wouldn't be a mistake. It's 30% off at the moment. That's its lowest ever price until November the 6th, and it has a 1.5GB download. One of the biggest issues with running a YouTube channel are the constant attempts to steal my data when online. It's no exaggeration to say we've had at least 5 emails a day since we started to get big, with different phishing schemes, people trying to find our location, and everything in between. If you do anything online and you haven't got a VPN, then you have a lot more faith in companies and your security than I do. I've been using Atlas VPN since our last sponsorship deal. A VPN means virtual private network, and it allows you to mask your traffic when online. By doing this, you can hide your information, hide your location, keep your IP address safe, and access different video services from other countries. If you're interested through SwitchUp, you can get the best value on the market for any VPN. It's $1.39 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can then apply this to unlimited devices, stop any annoying ads or malware, and save some cash by shopping in different regions at their local prices. If you're a SwitchUp subscriber, you can get a huge discount at the moment, which is their 3-year subscription for just $1.39 a month. It only applies for a short time, so if you've got any interest at all, do check those links out. I'll pop those in the top pinned comment. Then we've got the kids pick of the week, and it's Albert: A Wildlife Adventure. I actually fully completed this one, had a review written for it, all the footage captured, but we just ended up having a really busy week. It's a lovely little game. As the title suggests, you're on an adventure to take photographs of all the wildlife, and on this small island there's essentially a large corporation that want to take over and destroy all the areas that the birds and other animals live in, and it's your job to prove that there is a very rare type of lynx on the island. You do this by going about capturing pictures of all the creatures and then cataloguing them in your phone. It's very simplistic, it's very cutesy, and it's super chilled out. I enjoyed it a lot. It's currently 30% off, taking it down to £11.71, and that's until November the 3rd. It's got a download size of 391 megs. GG on the coding to those devs. One that rarely goes on sale and comes from the team that bought us the Sniper Elite games is Zombie Army Trilogy. This is a ludicrously cheap £11.99. That represents 60% off on what, in all honesty, was already a lot of content. We reviewed, as I say, this one on the channel. I'll pop a link to that in the top pinned comment. But it took all the best aspects of their Sniper Elite series and turned it into a narrative-driven zombie game. You've got gyroscopic controls, there's some online modes that are great fun if you can find some people to play with, and the campaign covers 15 different missions. As with the Sniper Elite games, you've got co-op for up to 2 to 4 players if you want to link up switches or play online. Very good games and well worth playing for this price. Then we've got the Hollow Knight-esque 3D Blue Fire. This features a semi-open world within which you'll find some slightly unusual characters. There's lots of platforming in here. It has Metroidvania elements in that you'll unlock new abilities, and you'll find these platforming shrines. They're essentially optional platforming segments that are brutally challenging, and I enjoyed them. They're a whole lot of fun. What's nice about this developer, as we've seen very often, is firstly the game was released in a decent state, but rather than just leaving it at that, they're adding in new content. There's whispers about sequels and new DLCs, and you can definitely tell that they want to support their games. Now this one's currently only on sale in the US region, but it's likely that the EU sale will follow the US. They seem to alternate back and forth. This one has a 4.9 gig download. Another one, which I think we're the only channel to have reviewed, or one of the only channels to have reviewed, is Strange Brigade. And it's the reason why I'm always saying to you, I love that everyone's doing sales videos, but it's really important that the people that are recommending these games have actually played them. And unfortunately, I just know that's not the case across the board. There are awesome people like Switch Corner, who is a very good friend of this channel, who is, in my opinion, just a great place to check out if you want sales and you want to know that the person's actually played it. Now, Strange Brigade is currently 60% off. This is a very nice 4-player co-op shooter, but it's almost set in like a mixture between Jumanji and The Mummy in terms of the universe it's based in. It's got a tongue-in-cheek humor. Each character is very much that, a character, and they're narrated as well, and the performance is decent. I believe the deluxe version can be purchased on sale at the moment, but in all honesty, I'd check out this one for £9.99. It's a bit of a bargain, and it's certainly a worthy pickup, and that sale goes on until November the 4th. My pickup of the week then, and the one that you know, I'm in this with you. We're all spending probably a bit more than we should, but that sound though when you make the purchase. And it's the Mummy Demastered. This was Glen's recommendation. He loved this, but it's only on sale for another 33 hours. So this is the one that you have to pick up today. And this is certainly one of the best Metroidvanias on the Switch, bar none. Despite the slightly worrying film license that it's linked to. Don't get me wrong, the original Mummy films were great, but some of the latter ones, yeah, not so much. But it mixes that shoot 'em up and exploration based adventuring. There are 50 different relics to find, lots of different weapons, and some great boss fights. It's only 786 megabytes and comes from Way Forward. That sale goes on until, well, 33 hours time. So if you're seeing this on Tuesday, unfortunately this one's gone. I really don't like horror games, so whenever there's a scary game in the list, you could pretty much guarantee it's going to be Glen's recommendation. And we've got Amnesia Collection, which he reviewed on the channel and thought was decent. Quite dated in terms of visuals, but the atmospheric and the audio is horrible in, I guess, a good way if you like that kind of thing. It's 90% off though. It's £2.52. What an absolute bargain. That's the cheapest it's ever been, and is stupidly cheap for what you're getting. Looking at about 15 hours of content, and probably in all honesty a bit more than that, as it includes all 3 Amnesia titles: The Dark Descent, A Machine for Pigs, and Justine. I would say it's worth checking out his review if you're at all interested, because that price is, well, it's ludicrous. It's a game that was released in a terrible state, so if you're someone that doesn't want to support a developer that released a poor game, then move on. If you like it when developers go back and actually work hard to make things better despite potentially not making any money out of it, as I think that's the camp I fall into, then you'll enjoy Pine a lot. It's ridiculously cheap. It's £3.89. That's 80% off, and this is an open world faction based adventure. What I mean by that is it's literally filled with different clans that are going about their business. It's not the most complex, but they will be fighting against each other. There'll be a certain element of hunting, but you as a player can go and befriend different factions. You can play them off against each other, you can give gifts to curry their favour, and then perform different quests. There's an overarching story that covers the whole thing, but as I say, they have revisited it several times to improve the performance. That sale goes on until November the 2nd. The penultimate game we're going to look at before we go on to our avoids then is an adventure that I really enjoyed. It covers all the things I love really: cyberpunk, near future, and has the excellent voice acting skills of Rutger Hauer, who unfortunately passed away, I believe it was either last year or the year before, made famous obviously for his role in Blade Runner. You play as a detective. It's the year 2084 in Krakow in Poland, and the whole adventure is set within this apartment block. There's a very interesting mechanic whereby if someone's just passed away, you can tap into their mind to see what happened and to have a look at those experiences, and that's where the title being an observer comes from. The Switch version isn't the most beautiful, like obviously it looks better on other platforms, but it's still with that OLED screen, because it's such a dark game, it really does look good. You have different vision modes to help you search for clues. One of them scans for biological evidence and the other one will pick up any electrical waves or frequencies. I really enjoyed it. We've got a full review if you want to check that out. It's got an 18GB download and it goes on until November the 4th. Which takes us on to our last game, which is also a hidden gem for sure, and it won't appeal to everyone, but it's something a bit different. If you remember the game Black and White from back in the day, well, The Mim's Beginning is another godlike strategy game that combines a bit of base building, growing this civilization who have to plant their own vegetation, breed animals, and use their psi powers. Now, if you want to watch our review of this one, I believe, Glen, you called them PSI powers for the whole review, which was quite upsetting to me. If you want to use those psi powers, as in psionic abilities, then you can help them overcome things like natural disasters, fight off monsters, and even predict the future. If I recall correctly, quite enjoyed this. It's only a 1GB download. As I say, not going to appeal to everyone, but for £1.22, that's 83% off. I mean, you could take a punt on that and not be too upset if it doesn't pay off. That one goes on until November the 4th. We're just going to have one avoid game in because I want to put an honourable mention in there, and it has to go to Alien Isolation. Not only did this win our award for the best port on Switch when we did that video quite a while back, but it's currently half price and it's a brilliant game. I don't like scary games, but I managed to, well, I didn't run through this one. I'd say I crept, terrified through it. But it's worth it. It does drag on a bit by the end. It's a bit too long, but it looks great on the Switch. It runs really well and it's just a brilliant storyline. That's 17 gigs if you want to check that one out. So here we have it, my friends. It's on to one game then that you should avoid like the plague. And it saddens me to say this because I've seen it recommended on a lot of other channels, but they clearly haven't played the game. I'm sorry, I hate to say that, but they clearly haven't on the Switch. It's essentially broken on the Switch and they're not patching it. It's Cloudpunk. On other platforms, it's brilliant. It's a really enjoyable game, but unfortunately, you're looking at 20, maybe 25 frames per second on Switch, and even south of that. It's a terrible experience. It's glitchy, it's messy. Yeah, it's just an absolute avoid on Switch. On other platforms, snap it up. 60 FPS, thanks very much. Developer Ion Lands, you've done a great job. It's a fun game. On Switch, no thanks. No, thank you very much. So that is it for this week. Do leave those comments. Let us know what games have you picked up because of this channel. Which ones did you like? Are there any that you really didn't like? And I apologise for that. We do try and make sure it's games that we enjoy, or at least those that we've said in our review, hey, pick this up on sale. Click the links in that top pinned comment if you want to support the channel and show those VPN peeps that, that you want to support the channel, I guess. And we do have some brilliant reviews coming for you this week. I'm sure you could probably guess some of them. Thanks to our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thanks for supporting us all the time. And for all of you, for all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!